Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our weekly live stream here at Essential Education. My name's Jen. I'm the student success coach here, and I am proudly partnered with Essential Ed and a whole variety of adult learners and adult educators to help you make a change. That could be a change in your education, learning a little bit more, finishing that high school education, going on to college or career vocational training, and then, of course, doing something in life, getting a career that you really, truly love. When we say that your success is our goal, we really do mean it. So if you're joining us today, let us know in what form you're joining us. Are you joining us on your phone? Are you joining us on your laptop or your desktop? It's always nice to know how we're connecting as we talk today about technology. Maybe let us know where you're joining us from. We know that we have a student and teacher base from all over the world. Let us know if you are a student or a teacher. We'd love to know what role you take in that relationship. We are proudly partnered with both learners and instructors in this whole process, and so we want to know what role you have in life change through education. And we are going to be talking about technology today. So maybe share with us your ability level in technology. Do you feel like you're tech savvy? Do you feel like it's something that's a little bit scary? Do you feel like maybe it's something that you're excited to learn and grow in? We want to know all of that. And you can share all of those comments right there in the chat today as we go along, as thoughts come to mind at whatever platform you're joining us from. We say hello to those who are joining us on Facebook and YouTube. And maybe you're joining us via recording. Maybe somebody shared this with you, and we'll get you connected to a place that you can connect after we're finished to answer additional questions and get the information that you need. So we are talking today about technology. I believe our title today is Tune Up Your Tech Skills. This is a complement, a follow-up to a live stream we did a couple of weeks ago on digital literacy. And if you'll remember, we kind of defined digital literacy. That literacy component is being able to read for understanding, and the digital component of that is the technology, that form in which we are now able to connect with information has changed greatly. It's changed greatly over the last 10, 20, 30 years, but it's even changed over the last year, over the last 2 years. Shorten that, it's changed over the last 6 months with, as you can imagine, all of the worldwide things that we may not have asked for. They may not have been the circumstances that we hoped for, but we have been able to see pockets of light in the midst of changing the way in which we communicate, which has bent more and leaned more toward those digital communication resources. So if you miss digital literacy and why it's important and why you need to build digital literacy for yourself, then go back in whatever platform you're joining us, hit like or subscribe, and you'll be able to see that full list of videos. And then that ensures that you'll never miss a beat when we go live with new content. But let's jump in to today's time together. Tune up your tech skills. We're going to be talking about 5 big reasons why you need to take that inward self-evaluation when it comes to your tech skills. 5 big reasons, no matter where you are in your evolution as a student or getting closer to that college and that promotion in your job or in your career. These are things that are important for everyone. These are things that are also important for our educators that might be joining us today. Ways and things that you need to think about how to tune up your tech in the classroom. And we've got some extra resources that we're sharing with you on our educator side at essentialed.com/educators that you can check out as well. The first of these big 5 reasons why you need to consider a tech tune-up is this: to compete on the job. You know, the workforce has changed greatly over the last little bit. It will continue to change over the next 5 years as we see unprecedented changes culturally in the way that we work, a movement toward more remote work, and a movement in the way that we interact with information, a more mindful eye on those tech skills, because tech skills, just like education and the job market, are moving at a very, very fast rate. So keeping up with that is something we all need to consider. So if you're one of those people that says, I just feel so lost, I haven't been in touch with any of my tech skills for the last 5, 10, or plus years, you're not alone. It's changing so rapidly that even those of us that interact with technology on a daily basis, we still feel inept sometimes. We still feel like we're behind because there's always something new to learn and there's always something new in which you can grow. When it comes to competing on the job, these things are standard: word processing, spreadsheet formation, and the creation of visual data. Now, I say standard, they're expectations in that daily work if you're in an office setting, if you're in a business setting. But even those of you that are in a trade-based setting or a labor setting, these things are still important because you're still communicating in these ways, and more on that in a little bit. But these things are still important. You need to be able to use word processing tools to create a really great resume and a really great cover letter, maybe fill out a digital application. You might use spreadsheets if you are in a management position in that labor-based or trade-based job, because that's how you do time cards, or that's how you do budgeting. And the creation of visual data is really important for everyone as well. Being able to show people, look, this is where we were and this is the progress that we made in that visual form. Studies show over and over again that especially visual learners, but everyone in general, is drawn into visual data. It's why you'll see a lot of what we call infographics on commercials, or I know my daughter's going through a college application process right now, and everything she gets from colleges have a quick stat with a quick little picture on there. We admitted this many students at this grade level at this time, and these number of applications and these number of acceptances, and they all have little visual data things there. It's because we're drawn into that type of visual data. So familiarizing yourself with whatever platform you are going to be working on is really important. And I emphasize whatever platform because there's lots of word processing programs out there. There's lots of spreadsheet programs out there. There's lots of ways to create visual data. But you know what? One of the great things that technology has given us is we have unprecedented access to the internet, and a quick search will give you free resources to learn, and then whatever platform you have, and many, many free and low-cost resources will come up for you and able to sharpen up some of your skills. And we've got a great resource right here at Essential Education that we want to let you know about and connect you to today as well. So that's our first big thing. Being able to compete on the job is a reason to tune up your tech skills. Here's another one, and we've already touched on this a little bit. It's that communication aspect. Tuning up your tech skills is really important if you want to collaborate and work with others. We have seen increased remote communication. We have seen the increased need to, if we're sitting behind a screen, be able to present our ideas to people through PowerPoint, through Keynote, through a webinar format, those types of things. So getting used to those remote communication platforms like Zoom, like GoToMeeting, like Skype, whatever platform you might be asked to engage with in study, in the classroom environment. We're seeing a lot of online learning, a 74% increase just in the last 2 years in online learning. Your ability to communicate in these types of platforms. And again, I emphasize platform, the name of the program, because they all work relatively the same way, but there's all little things that we need. So that means spending some time with those tools before you jump into the meeting so that you're prepared and ready to go when the time comes. And then also file management systems and online etiquette. The first one, a lot of people don't think about. They think, well, how is a file management system going to help me collaborate with others? Well, if you're in a remote environment, like we are here at Essential Education, The way you manage your files is kind of like you would in real life. Hey, this is our resource library, and you can go here to these files and pull resources, pull tools, pull articles, pull information. And we want to be able to create it in an environment that works for everyone to get the best out of their performance and make the most of their job to be the best team player that they can. So if you're going to be working in any type of collaborative environment, either in an education setting or a work-based setting that involves sharing digital files, get used to how to manage those files digitally. That could be getting used to Dropbox, or that could be getting used to maybe an internal management system. And some of those things are the things that you'll learn on the job. So be open to that. Know that those are things that if it's an internal private management system, everyone has to learn. So take the stress off. Know that growing into that is expected with any new job or any new process that might be entered into your job environment. And then that online etiquette, we have a great session coming up. We will allude to it a little bit live in some of the material that we share, but we have a great live coaching session coming up, absolutely free, called Improve Your Online Presence. And I cannot tell you how important it is to make sure that you are shoring up your social media, that you are leaving a positive digital footprint, because people are looking at it. The way that you interact online should be something that you do very carefully. I saw a meme recently that said, dance like no one's watching, but text an IM like your grandmother is reading them. And that's a pretty good life standard to live by, because we sometimes get a little loose. We get a little bit more free to be sarcastic, maybe to be a little bit borderline inappropriate when we send quick online messages, when we send things on social media, or maybe inter-office chatter. But those are digital, and they are saved somewhere, somewhere in the space-time continuum. They're forever. Someone can always backtrack and find all of those things. So learning those online etiquette tools are really important as well. Join us for that. Improve Your Online Presence. We think we can help with that. Tuning up your tech also means this really, really cool way that you now have to connect with information. You want to make sure, as we've already mentioned, that you can do internet searches that bring that information that you want to know, that you need to know, right into your home or even on the go. I have become so accustomed to internet searching that I don't even let minutes go by. We were at a Super Bowl party this weekend, and somebody asked about a stat, and I said, well, let's look it up. Let's find out right now. We have that ability. It's really, really unbelievable that we now have that ability. We don't have to go to a library. We don't have to search a card catalog like those Gen Xers like myself did. We have that information right there in our phones. But we also have to have the critical thinking skills and kind of those red flag identifying skills, so to speak, to identify quality sources. We don't want to just believe it just because it's out there on the internet. And then we also want to make sure when we find good content, when we find content that is valid, that is sourceable, that we properly share and document that content, especially in an education setting. Goodness, we need to make sure that we are not committing plagiarism, that we are properly documenting sources. And again, that's going to vary from platform to platform and maybe from curriculum to curriculum, whether you're in that high school completion or collegiate environment. And then, of course, in work, it's equally important to credit your sources. All kinds of copyright rules and privacy laws and all of those things that you need to be mindful of. And speaking of critically thinking through problems is another reason why you need to consider a tech tune-up. The ability to troubleshoot, the ability to start not at, oh, I'm going to pick up the phone and call somebody to help me with this, but start to think, okay, what do I know about this current situation? If it's a technical problem, what do I know about this device? What do I know about this platform? What can I do to figure something out on my own? And then when I need to seek assistance in that technical glitch, whatever it might be, do I know how to do that? Are there online chats? Do I know how those work? Is there a help and support option right there in the platform that I'm using? Or do I need to pick up the phone and call someone? So there's a lot of panic and frustration that can go from, oh, there's a problem, to, I need to call somebody, or it's broken and I can't fix it. And we throw our hands up in frustration. Learn to be a troubleshooter. Learn to be a critical thinker. And believe it or not, studying for your high school equivalency exams and those test taking tools that you're learning are helping you do just that. You're getting those critical thinking skills banked into your long-term memory. So don't just throw them out when you pass that test. Keep those critical thinking skills there. Keep that troubleshooting mind and thoughts in your head. Seek assistance when you need it. And do get familiar with common computer terms so that if you do have to seek assistance, you aren't like me sometimes who said, well, I'm clicking this little box on the big thingy and it's blinking like this. Some people that assist you will know exactly what you're talking about. But if you can get familiar with some computer terms, if you can get familiar with some common hardware and software terms, some computer vocabulary. We talk about this in preparing for your high school equivalency exams, that building up that vocabulary is really important. And we have a great resource that I can point you to as well in our past coaching sessions live on our site at essentialed.com/past coaching sessions. You can access a wonderful live coaching session that we worked through together called 22 Computer Skills for 2022, where we go over some of the top needs of employers in this year. And one of the things we talk about is a list of common computer lingo and common computer terms. How many do we give you? 22, because we like a good theme. So check that out and get that resource as well. And then lastly, being able to get a good tech tune-up can help you create that mindset that you need for lifelong learning. Your ability to be what is becoming a more commonly used word, a more commonly used phrase or term, someone's technical flexibility. We've needed a lot of flexibility over the last few years, right? Because again, we have seen changes in every aspect of life that we may not have asked for. But guess what? Just because we didn't ask for it doesn't mean that we don't have to deal with it and we don't have to persevere through it. So we need flexibility. We need, as that old boxer adage says, we need the ability to bob and weave through these changes. And employers want to see that. Employers want to see that spirit of, hey, we're implementing a new technical program. You're not familiar with it. Maybe teachers, if you're joining us, we're giving you a new digital grade book. We're giving you a new educational platform. Students, hey, we're going to full-time remote learning. This is the platform you're using. And on both sides of that, we could throw up our hands or cross our arms and say, I'm not doing it. I'm not learning that. Ooh, I'm scared. I don't want to touch that. But we have to. We have to be technologically flexible so that we can commit to our own personal and professional development and our personal and professional growth. We can't stay stuck. And as technology evolves, we have to learn and grow and evolve with it. So consider your ability to create those lifelong learning opportunities by becoming technically flexible and open to new opportunities. Let's talk resources. I know that we have alluded to, you can go out and you can do a blank internet search and you can get some very specific resources for specific software programs, maybe a specific platform. YouTube is a wonderful place if you want to learn all the ins and outs of Zoom, or you want to learn all of the ins and outs of whatever digital platform you're working in. A lot of really, really great content. You should be mindful of the source. Look at that number of followers, look at those comments, look at where the content is coming from. Make sure it is a valid source. If it is a webinar put on by zoom.com about Zoom, then we could probably guarantee that it was a pretty good source. But if it's a Zoom webinar put on by net.zoom.ety and it has a weird web address there, have a little red flag pop up. Have a little bit of caution with that. Make sure those sources are valid. But there's lots of great sources that are online. But we've got a resource we want to introduce to you today that I can guarantee you is valid. And if you've already partnered with us for instruction and resources and tools for your high school equivalency exam, or for your job preparation, then we want to highlight this important course, and it is Computer Essentials. Our Computer Essentials course has recently been updated. It is growing in its depth and breadth of knowledge. It will take you to the basics for sure, if that's where you need to start. But if you're beyond the basics and you need to involve a little bit more into some more in-depth internet searching and finding valid sources, we can help you do that. If you need to evolve into evaluating information and then organizing your files in that collaborative environment, we can help with that. If you want to learn more about spreadsheets and data functions, if you want to learn more about documents and building that visual data, we can help with all of those things. We can also help you with those social and those online interactions, as well as considering your own privacy and your own security. As quickly as technology is changing, we want to change along with it and have the technological flexibility that we need to provide you with those quality resources. So if you're already partnered with us to get your high school equivalency credential, then we want to give you the opportunity to call a student advisor right now. You can call them and talk to them about what it might look like to add Computer Essentials to your enrollment. You can also learn more at essentialed.com/students, because all of the things we talked about today, these 5 reasons why you need to consider a technical tune-up, are all under the umbrella that can be found in Computer Essentials. You can do this. We can help. We want to be your partner in education, not only for test prep. Sure, we want to do that. We want to help you prepare for those subjects. But we also want to get the gears thinking about that thing that is lifelong learning, continuing to give yourself all of the skills to compete on the job, to collaborate with others, to have the critical thinking skills that you need to make a difference in your community and, yes, in your world. We would love to connect with you. Reach out in any way. Join us here in the comments. We'll be responding throughout the day to any questions that come up. We want to help you, so just let us know what you need. Thanks so much and have a great day.